Stop scrolling. You are about to witness the single most shocking, industry-shaking moment in AI history. Something that not only threatens Silicon Valley's dominance, but could tilt the balance of global power forever. China's Moonshot AI has just unleashed Kimi K2, a 1 trillion parameter open-source AI model capable of doing what OpenAI and Anthropic said was too dangerous to release to the public. Let that number hit you. 1 trillion parameters. The same scale as the deepest secret models locked away in the West, now suddenly open to anyone on Earth with a computer. Here's what's wild. Kimmy K2 claims to outperform both GPT-4.1 and Claude Opus 4 in coding, logic, and reasoning. Costs up to 90% less to run than its American rivals. And is now available, right now, for free download, with full weights, source code, and instructions. Today, we're not just talking about a new AI model. We're talking about the beginning of a new global AI arms race, a new tech world order, and a challenge to everything you thought was possible in artificial intelligence. This episode will blow your mind. We're breaking down how China pulled off the greatest leap in AI history, why this is sending shockwaves through OpenAI, Google, and Anthropic, and how it could upend tech, geopolitics, and the very way you live and work. Before we begin, smash that subscribe button and ring the bell. This is the channel that brings you tomorrow's AI news before anyone else even hears the rumors. You do not want to miss what happens next. Let's get into it. 1. Inside China's AI secret, how Moonshot AI outran the West. Let's set the stage for just how wild this is. Until yesterday, the global AI race looked like this. OpenAI, Anthropic, and Google DeepMind kept their largest models tightly guarded. Most open source models in the West were generations behind. Powerful, but nothing at the bleeding edge. The trillion parameter club was mostly myth, a talking point for closed-door demos and insider presentations. Then comes Moonshot AI, a previously little-known startup from Beijing, funded by a mix of Chinese venture capital, tech giants, and quiet state support. For the past 18 months, they've been working in stealth, recruiting the best minds from Tsinghua, Peking University, and even Western labs, luring talent with promises of world-changing resources and total freedom to build at insane scale. The result? Kimi K2. A model using the cutting-edge mixture of experts (MOE) architecture, inspired by Google and DeepMind's latest research. Over 1 trillion total parameters, using a smart system to activate only the most relevant 32 billion per task, making it both enormous and cost-efficient. Built on open-source principles, not just APIs, but full weights, code, and research papers released day one. Sources say Moonshot's team had access to advanced domestic chips and a loophole supply of high-performance NVIDIA cards. Massive, carefully filtered Chinese language and global training data, giving Kimi K2 unique breadth in both Chinese and English. A Manhattan Project-style focus, including supercomputing clusters that dwarf most university AI labs. While OpenAI was pausing for safety and Anthropic was debating alignment, Moonshot simply shipped. Their motto? Build first, ask permission, never. This is the first time the West has truly been leapfrogged in foundational AI, and everyone from Sam Altman to Sundar Pichai is watching in panic. Do you think open source should move this fast, or are you worried about safety? Drop your take in the comments. This is the debate of our era. 2. The trillion parameter revolution. What makes Kimmy K2 so powerful? What does a trillion parameters actually mean? Let's break down the tech, because this is what's sending shockwaves through the industry. In classic LLMs, parameters are the dials the AI adjusts as it learns. Think of each parameter as a neuron. A trillion parameter model is like a digital brain with more synapses than there are stars in the Milky Way. But here's what's unique. Kimi K2 uses a mixture of experts design. Instead of activating all 1 trillion neurons at once, it selects a team of 32 billion for each question, like having the best specialists jump in when needed. This means Kimi K2 combines raw scale with strategic efficiency, massive capacity, but only the sharpest experts for each task. Why does this matter? Because it's the key to outperforming GPT-4.1 and Claude Opus 4 on live benchmarks. Code generation, logical reasoning, scientific Q&A, even agentic workflows, bringing down costs. The most expensive models used to cost startups and researchers thousands per month. Kimi K2 slashes that by 80 to 90%, making fine-tuning and domain adaptation possible for everyone, not just billion-dollar companies. Here's the number breakdown. GPT-4.1, $2 per million input tokens, $8 output. Claude Opus 4, $1,575. Kimmy K2, 15 cents input, $250 output. But it's not just about price. On open benchmarks, SWE-bench for code, GPQA for advanced reasoning, even AIME and live code bench, Kimmy K2 comes out on top or ties the best. And because the full model weights are available, independent researchers can verify, adapt, and even challenge these results. No more black box trust issues. What would you build if you had access to this much raw power? Type your craziest idea in the comments and we might feature it on next video. 3. Disrupting the AI status quo. How Kimmy K2 threatens OpenAI, Anthropic, and Google. This is the part that has Silicon Valley sweating. With Kimmy K2 out in the wild, the old playbook just got ripped up. OpenAI and Anthropic have delayed the release of their own open source models, citing safety concerns, regulator pressure, and worries about misuse. Google is scrambling to both catch up and shape international AI rules, quietly testing new MOE architectures of their own. But Kimmy K2 is already here, and it's 100% open source. Anyone, startups, researchers, even hobbyists, can download the weights, plug into the code, and start building or fine-tuning. Why does this matter? Because for the first time in history, the most advanced AI isn't locked behind a corporate or government paywall. Startups across the world now have a level playing field with big tech, fueling new competition in chatbots, agents, creative tools, trading bots, even AI-powered search engines. Non-English users, especially in Asia, get a model that understands their culture and context as well as it does English. But there's real risk too. Governments in the West are already warning about national security and intellectual property. Bad actors, scammers, deepfake creators, and state propaganda teams might now get access to GPT-4 plus power at almost zero cost. The industry is split. Open source advocates say this is the dawn of AI democratization. Safety experts warn it could speed up everything from innovation to chaos. What's your take? Should Kimmy K2 be open to everyone, or are the risks too high? Comment now. This is the debate shaping the future. 4. Real-world impact. What Kimmy K2 means for developers, startups, and everyday life. Let's bring this home. What does Kimmy K2 mean for you, for devs, for creators, for entrepreneurs, and regular people everywhere? The possibilities are mind-blowing. Startups can now build world-class chatbots, search tools, assistants, and agents without paying for OpenAI or Google APIs. Local businesses and government services can deploy AI customized for their language, laws, and culture. Developers can fine-tune Kimmy K2 on niche data, law, medicine, finance, entertainment, powering everything from legal research bots to medical triage systems. Students, artists, and hobbyists can explore agentic AI, making assistants that write, code, research, trade stocks, or even create original music and art. Entire countries, especially those locked out of US tech, can now access frontier AI, changing the digital divide overnight. And because it's open source, bugs and bias can be found and fixed by the crowd, not just a secret corporate team. The model can be audited for safety, privacy, and alignment. Community-driven improvements can keep it relevant and competitive. Early projects built on Kimmy K2 already include multilingual voice assistants for rural China and India, hyper-efficient coding co-pilots for startups in Europe and Africa, research bots for science teams in South America. The real question: how will this change the world in the next 12 months? If you're a developer, what will you build? If you're a parent, teacher, or business owner, how could a free trillion-parameter AI change your life? Share your vision below, and let's spark a global conversation. 5. The coming AI arms race, geopolitics, regulation, and the wild unknown. We can't ignore the elephant in the room. This is just the beginning of a new kind of arms race. Geopolitics. Western governments are already debating how to respond. New export controls? More money for domestic AI? Bans on open source distribution? China is using Kimmy K2 as a soft power flex, showing the world it can lead not just in hardware and manufacturing, but in the digital future itself. Emerging economies now have a chance to leapfrog digital barriers, and global tech giants face real competition from a previously unlikely challenger. Regulation. The EU is trying to finalize the AI Act, and the US Congress is under pressure to protect national interests. But enforcing global rules on open source code is nearly impossible. Once the weights are out, they're everywhere. The next phase will see legal battles, policy debates, and maybe a flood of copycat models, each pushing the limits further. The unknown. Will we see a surge of positive innovation or a wave of new risks? Deepfakes, spam, cybercrime, and more. Will the open source AI movement win out, or will the pendulum swing back to stricter controls? Will Kimi K2 spark a global arms race where countries compete not just in speed, but in transparency, trust, and safety? One thing is certain, the world will never be the same after today. Are you optimistic or worried? Who do you think will win, the open source pioneers or the regulators? The US, China, or someone else? Let's have that debate in the comments, and as always, keep it real, keep it respectful. You just lived through the most explosive moment in AI history. Kimmy K2 is here. The trillion-parameter revolution is real. The future is no longer gated by big tech. The old rules just changed. The new race starts now. Don't get left behind. Subscribe, smash that bell, and join the only channel that breaks AI news before the world even realizes what happened. We're going to be following every twist, every breakthrough, every backlash, so you stay ahead of the curve every single time. Comment below, what would you do with free trillion-parameter AI? Who will win this new AI arms race? Are we headed for a golden age of open innovation or a wild west of chaos? Your voice, your future. Stay curious, stay critical, and see you in the next mind-blowing update. This is AI Horizon Daily, and the AI revolution just got real. See you on the next wave.